You got a kid that was shot. He's not gonna make it. They saying y'all was up here, y'all had something to do with it. You don't think of injustice and you don't think of crooked investigation. You know, a small town where we gotta make an example. You just think you was definitely wrong for being there, you shouldn't have been there, but you wasn't involved, and the law will protect the innocent.
I think this is my favorite picture. Chris had already accepted the Lord, and his first cousin, which is my nephew, wanted to be baptized, but he wanted Chris to help baptize him. He had on his little white bathrobe when he helped him baptize him. I knew then that God had a calling on his life.
I went to church every Sunday, Sunday school, choir practice, and Wednesday night Bible study. And Christianity wasn't just in the itinerary, it was in our culture. You kind of can't do no wrong when you Reverend Wilson's son, I guess I would say, yeah. Martinsville kind of a small town, and what you do is you ride around, listen to music. This is our domain. This is the cool thing to do. I get into the car with a guy who had been beefing with people from the city. We drive around, cars slow up, and then I hear shots fired. It's nighttime, I don't see anything. The guy whose car I was in, he fired shots. I just figured he's shooting in the air. It never dawns on you like something catastrophic can happen. You don't think someone could lose their life.
I found out about the death on the news. I just had this uneasy feeling, and I started praying. Not long after that, the police came.
You never thought something like that would happen, that one of your children would be involved.
I couldn't believe that he was in this situation. Not him, not Chris. We were just praying, God, touch their hearts. Let them see Chris. Let them see who he really is. Let them see that he's innocent.
30 years or something that not only did I not do, I wasn't aware that it was going to happen. I'm looking up like, wait, okay, God, you know that I ain't do this.
It just felt like a death. As if I had lost my son.
I was basically a kid. You're surrounded with men who's giving up on life, giving up on themselves, their family has given up on them. You struggle with, is this really happening to me? I would spend hours a day sometimes just praying, all right, God, this habeas corpus, this writ of actual innocence, this writ of mandamus, this right here, you can use this. Every appeal that I put in was turned down. Every thought, every bad thing, it definitely comes to your mind. So you think about everything that could potentially end this pain. My drug of choice in prison was the Trinity Broadcasting Network. That was my lifeline.
TBN was there when we couldn't be there. He could tell me the lineup of what was coming on, who was coming on, who was preaching. Yes.
And he seemed like he was so excited about it.
Even though I'm hurt, I'm wounded, perspective was like, no, God got me. That was explained to me every day through TBN. If this is where I'm gonna be, then it's gonna reflect what God is capable of.
I knew something was different about him. I was mad with everybody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to forgive nobody. But this young man, he chose to serve God. While he was yet waiting to come home, God was using him to speak life into other men's lives, and they were going home.
He encouraged me because I saw somebody really living it. All the guys were looking up to him. The older guys, the younger guys, and he was teaching all of them. And I'm like, yeah, Chris, you the man.
He would always encourage us.
Sure would. He would always preach to me.
And he said, don't you preach that, because when I come home and preach it, they're going to think I done stole your sermons.
now more than ever, when it was gonna take God moving on the heart of those to have compassion and say, no, this is not right. I called my mother, I said, Ma, it's on my heart. I think it's God to reach out to Bertie James, see if she knows anybody in the governor's office.
She's a retired judge, and she knew of the case. I texted her. Later, she called me. She said, it had to be God. When you text me, I was sitting in the governor's office. And she said, he's gonna get right on it. I just bust out crying.
She bust out crying. And she told me, then I bust out crying. Woo.
My mother told me that, I started crying. This was God let me know, like, yeah, this all these years, but I got it. Switch out mine, I waited for 17 years, but this was absolutely the right time.
Words can't explain it. It was just a good feeling that you had been waiting on for 17 years.
Yes.
And believe me, to me, that was a long wait, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
And I am so, so proud of him.
This young man holds no grudges. He doesn't hate anybody. He chose to believe God.
God was with him through it all. And I think that's what I saw on Chris. So many people can talk a good game, but they don't live the game. And Chris lives it.
See, I like this one.
Well, you ain't talking to them, Mom. It's us having
Oh, okay.
They're not there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I like this one.
I am definitely an example of the importance of the ministry of the Trinity Broadcasting Network. TBN was the outlet through which God reached me in a place where I was unreachable.